Alrighty. I am here to begin. Uh, let's try and test what the 149 needs. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Before I do that, and let's, uh, let's see. Chat. Yeah. All right. Let's swap out from my visions. Group it or not, it's about the same because I usually play the same stuff. However, I have a feeling that I don't want to just play 90 anymore. Uh, while last time I had to use this, I had to force to use this instead of instead of one extra CDR. Well, not extra, but in terms of this season, it's so-called extra, and so I might have to go back to this. I might have to go back to this to get my 107. Just have that feeling that I need to. Yeah. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then I also have to organize the I have to organize my text. Current GR149. Yes, there's a lot of text on the screen. I get it, but it's a little. There we go. All right, I think I am ready to begin. All right, 149. Yeah, I don't have a 150 unlocked, so it's All right, let's begin. Let's begin. Let's begin. Let's begin. Yeah, let's go. Ooh, okay. That's very interesting when it does this. Let's see what I get. Chickens. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Let's see. Let's hope that there's a lot of chickens, okay? Let's hope there's a lot of chickens for me. This is a good start if it's gonna get a lot of chickens. Still not the top, but it's pretty good for the amount. Okay, I don't want to see a yellow elite. I need more chickens. More. I need way more chickens, please. Way more chickens. Okay, I don't like to see a yellow elite, a second yellow. The first yellow is already bad at the top. 107 seems fine. But I am losing time already, which is ridiculous. So it means that obviously this map is, you know, it's the map issue. It's not a monster type issue, it's a map issue. The monster type was fantastic as a first rift to start. Well, it's losing the amount of chickens, so it's not necessarily good either. But to RNG chickens as a first attempt, or first key open, that's pretty good. Now, I am missing a lot of damage, however. So it just means that, well, if I were to not discuss about damage-wise, I know that ring is the problem. So I might have to use the other ring again, because that's how I did my 148. Now, in terms of damage versus the density though, I just need a lot more chickens, or a lot more of a specific S tier monster type. Yeah, because I can't kill a yellow elite for sure. There's the chickens. Survivability seems okay, even at the 33. Yeah, as I say that, then I'll have a problem, right? But yeah, I am behind. So being behind with the damage, there's only two options really. One is to go to the COE version. Well, yeah. And then two is just go back to my 148 version and play it at 90 area damage again. I mean, I am going at a steady pace for what I have, but it's not looking too good. It seems interesting that I have the damage though. Well, relative to the monster type, I actually look like I have the damage. So I'm gonna try a few times. As in, try a few times to see what my pylons are like too. if I do get my pylon at all. The game might be really stingy here, to say that, oh look, you now must have 25% and being ahead in order to actually get the first pylon. And so this is where, you know, the lack of damage is a problem. And then they love stalling this last bit of percent. Wow, the time flies real fast here. Because the number of chickens just they just didn't have enough chickens. Is there a pylon? I think the game decided that I wouldn't have it. Yeah. Yeah, I think the game decided that I wouldn't have it already because of the time. And then also, the other part of this is that they probably delayed it because of where my gold bar is. So basically, the 25 is not always the guaranteed, but it's late. Well, it can become late, or that your gold bar affected it. So meaning that it can delay all the way to 32%, which also means that this could be a 3 pylon rift or 2 pylon rift when it delays, depending on how you play. So conduit or shield is the only thing left. And nope. Okay, let me just check what the floor 2 is after I kill this density, just for fun. I want to see what my floor 2 would have been. So that while obviously chickens is an okay thing to play, right? But I still want to know, like, if I had a bad one, if I had a bad first floor of monster density, I would have already skipped it anyway, right? But let's say I didn't skip, and then I need to see what the problem is with floor 2. So let's see what floor 2 brings. Oh, I did get a shield. 32, see? That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I was like, it delays because of my gold bar. That's what I'm talking about, right? It's like there's a chance where it could happen, and it did. So this is just the way it goes. Like, you gotta wait because it delayed all the way until 32% from 25. Because normally, right, you get your pylon either really early between 0 to 13, usually 0 to 12, or you get it like, you know, almost 7%. Well, I've gotten 17% before, for example, right? So at 17%, I got my first pylon before. So you can average, you know, before and after of the 25% mark. Alright, so for elites after shield, all guilds is another option. But again, you have to make sure that you're not dying, you know, like from density, which means that the build at some point relies on, you know, the pylon order, right? And so when you do all guilds, you tend to have a higher reliance on the shield than even more. Alright, so after the shield, I can only kill 2 blues max. Yep. Now I did have a good amount of blues here. Now this blue is really bad, by the way. It's really painful. those nightmares, because they put a debuff on you, like right here. It weakens you by a lot, and then it doesn't help when they weaken you, and then you see a Mallet Lord. Yeah, so there's always one very healthy blue. That's really annoying, see? Okay, the other thing I should have done, right, is that during my shield I should have used my potion power like 1 extra time. Minimum. But yeah, like... Alright, so I did manage to somewhat kill the stuff, and then obviously there's one blue there, I think, that I didn't pull. Didn't manage to pull properly. What is this one anyway? Oh, it's Ghostly Tree. Is it? Do I get like a... If it was conduit, it was okay, but not power right now. I mean, I can just play it, you know, just... But it's not helpful. It's not helpful enough. If it was conduit, it would have been perfect to actually break even. This is just way too many targets for it. And it's shielding, so you just don't get very much use of this. So like, I can steal percents here, right? But you don't want the power for not a Rift Guardian at this point. The only time that you can play non-power, okay, is roughly using the COE version, because the COE is your power. So the power is gone, so see, it doesn't work. Okay, so I can get out of this one already. But that was a good funny thing that happened, was that I saw the 32 as I set the 32. And that's just me looking at the rifts before, right? And watching it. So it doesn't always pop at 32, by the way. It can go up to 35. So it's like the first pylon is delayed, like, depending on your gold bar, right? Of how far it went. So if it went too far, you might not even see it, right? I I think I might not have eaten up too many spots more on the first floor, because there was one spot remaining that I just checked earlier, and it didn't have it either. So I either have eaten the pylon spots already before 32%, when I knew that it was delayed already, such that the shield would pop up in the next floor. Because I've definitely checked at 25%, like the bottom 2 spawn spots possible, and then I left one at the middle right-ish spot, and the middle right-ish spot didn't pop up either. So that was the final spot. But that final spot is more like a progressive spawn. So it's not like a spawn point. It's more like a progressively correct spawn point. There's a difference, I think, on that one. And so I kind of wasted the actual spawn point, which is the one at the far right. Like, far right of Desolate Sands. Yeah. Because normally in speeds, right? In speeds, the one that I last checked before I left the floor, you usually get that one as you're revealing upwards when you do a clockwise rotation. And I was hoping that that clockwise rotation spawn point that I didn't reveal would spawn the shield or conduit for the 3 blues that I fought down there. You know, so what sucks is that I had to go down the next floor to see the shield, go back up the floor, right? And then play it. So you waste another, like 15 seconds of it, right? Which the 15 seconds was another partial blue. Yeah. So, okay. So it looks like my area is okay, but it's not necessary yet. So let's go ahead and try going back to this one first. But man, that was a good test though. That was a really good test because chickens was actually relatively helpful in terms of a first key attempt. Um, yeah. So first attempt, pretty interesting. 32% shield on next floor entrance. Floor 1 was Desolate Sands with minimal chickens. Second floor was kind of a mixture. Like I think it has some mixture of critters and berserker or something. And like yeah, whatever it was. It was just but and then I had a 53 or 54% power. But by then it's too late and only conduit would work. Okay. So the power did gain me 10%. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I went back to this ring that I obviously successfully did most of my recent push attempts uh already. Uh but it is 90. So I guess this season, 90 and above is okay because direct damage is what you would want as well because if you lack damage you need direct damage, and so then the area damage isn't there, and you also need direct damage for the elites anyways, especially the blues, not to mention the yellow obviously. So yeah, so let's try the second try and see what I get. uh it is going to be rough. I mean, there are people who have done, obviously the pushes way before this paragon. But in the 2 minute style that I play, it's gonna hurt the chances, right? Well, the 2 minute style that I play, meaning more so, uh, 2 minutes or the first pylon at minimum, if not the second, right? So that's kind of like my style because I also want to know like how I can play, right? And obviously, again, the pylon order that you want is like shield conduit, conduit shield, kind of like in that mixture. So you don't want to just give up necessarily, but you have to give up if it's 2 minutes behind, right? I mean, there's a chance again that 2 minutes behind is still okay, but like you don't want that to happen though, because then it forces you to have conduit to break even, or the shield, but you need to have like 5 elites ready, and I did have like 3, which was not enough for the shield to do that much. And speaking of that, right, the accountability of each better pylons or the best 3 pylons have to be 3 or more elites. And we saw that the shield having 3 wasn't enough, so you definitely want more than that for shield anyways. So 3 is not enough. All right, second go. Let's hope. Okay, this is terrible. Scavengers. Oh, earlier it might have been scavenger as well. Scavenger is pretty nice for, I believe, LOD Hoda, because they do follow and they are low HP. But in terms of this though, It's okay. Just need more than this screen, I guess. So I got 2% here, which is okay for what it was, 3%. But yeah, this is shielding. Yeah, that's bad. Let's see. 1 second. What's that? Oh, you have it disabled? Okay. Fire Shamans is a no. Yeah, Fire Shamans is a no. Alright. Well, that's it. It's pretty much done. Because it's Fire Shamans. Yeah, Fire Shamans is a no. Alright, so that was the second attempt. Yeah, that's pretty easy to tell. Second attempt was floor 1 at 1. It's like cathedral-like, basically. Well, when I say cathedral-like, it's cathedral, but when I think of cathedral, I think of the grand staircase start opening more. So it's cathedral anyway, even though it's not very much cathedral-like. But it is cathedral layouts. And then it's scavengers. For 3% opening. Floor 2, however, what was that? Wait, shock tower. Yeah, shock tower, but mass fire shamans. So I am out. Okay, so next, third try. I have a feeling I might have to go COE version already, because that's the only, well, not only, but that's one of the ways that I can get my damage back that I am missing in terms of how I play. Third, okay. Phasebeasts or warping horrors, that's good. I need a lot though. Okay. Okay, Oculus Ring. Really? It's really painful. Okay, I need an Oculus Ring fast, please. Thank you. Six percent opening is pretty good. 7. Okay, I see an edge of a yellow elite already. Okay, shielding, I don't want that. Yeah, so whenever you get, well, that was a good opening already because I didn't get distracted by an elite pack for my first percents, and the first percent is very important because you want to have a good flow so that you can get an early pylon, right? Potentially speaking. Okay, 12. I need more, since I might not get an early pylon that I was mentioning. So I want to hope that I get my pylon, you know, relative to the time. Is that a teleporter? That might be a teleporter. Cause I mean, I only read the shielding part, but yeah, that might be a teleporter because it just appeared. Okay, well, I mean, I don't like it. I wanted to skip it because it is frost. And it is distracting when outputting damage. See, it's so distracting when you're outputting damage because you have to dodge all the frosts. Oh, I didn't really dodge that one. Okay, so I'm losing time because of the elite pack. Okay. 20% conduit. 20% conduit. I know I played it, but the reason why I played it is because it's too far. I should have probably opened it on this spot here instead. Basically, I checked the wrong spawn point. But that's fine. I made a mistake. I know my mistake. Yeah, should have played that a little bit better. Then I can get this final blue. I didn't play it very well there. And so it cost me, you know, my second pylon. And the second pylon has to be a shield now. I don't even know if I can get it. That sucks. This sucks. Because I should have gotten that spawn point instead. I should have checked another, like, I shouldn't really have revealed it over there. Yeah, I shouldn't have revealed it over there. Yeah, this is bad. Oh. Okay then. Okay then, early savior. But it's not good. I got too much help. This is way too much help. But the bad news, okay, there's a bad news in this. Okay, apparently there was another blue here. But the bad news is I got too much help that I got lucky because, you know, you get an early help. The bad news is that I might not have enough Oculus rings. For this yellow. but it is an investment I have to stay for. So hopefully, okay. That was all I can do, I think. I need to clear all this. So I should have played better in terms of spawning the conduit. I should have spawned the conduit on the central spot. But again, I didn't know at the time. I didn't know that I would get a 20%. Oh my god. Okay. Double battlefields? Okay. So I would say I might have ruined my own run. And that happens quite a lot. I mean, this is not the best, but double battlefield is, you know, a third key is pretty crazy. Okay, there's an elite there. Okay. I just don't know what I want to do with this type, though. This type is not, like, ideal. And I've already used up all my better pylons. Yeah, this was, you know, on average a lot better, but I kind of wrecked about 5% of my play. So I should be at 80% plus now. But I wrecked it a little. Alright. Well, I mean, what can I do? It was bound to happen. I mean, I would have expected it already, that I wouldn't get the power. And even then, I'm behind time. Like, the density type is not sufficient. Like, you have to, like, make your own. So, like, every time I have to do this in order to stay afloat, you know. Like, forcefully stay afloat. So I should have been at, you know, 88% by now. if I had played my conduit better, as in positionally speaking, because I accidentally overchecked the bottom left. And it cost me basically. It cost me 5% minimum. This was a close, much closer one considering the and I mean the only other way that I could do that properly was actually to kill that, well, I don't even remember which yellow elite it was, the teleporter one. But I may or may not have killed the teleporter one, and that's another problem of it. What is that third floor? Okay, 92%. Aw, man. Are you kidding? Medium spiders on this one? Okay, so it's a troll second floor. Okay. I mean, we shouldn't like Desolate Sands, but medium spiders is really good. I mean, to a certain point. And so I kind of got trolled by a second floor that isn't optimal. And so that sucked. But I should have gotten my Rift Guardian by now. So that's the thing. That 5% did cost me, but it was a channeling third, so do I get a 99% check? I don't think so. I think it's a 3 pylon rift. Yeah, I think it's a 3 pylon rift. I didn't get enough. Yeah, I have enough damage for Rhyme. Well, it's not ideal because I don't get... Well, I don't really have enough damage for Rhyme because I don't get Oculus Rings. And then I also have to play perfectly, but I would say like this is one of the more tame ones. Up until I get hit, obviously. But it's tamer than most of the other ones that you don't want, but it does get very distracting to dodge stuff, right? So that's why you want the better Rift Guardians. Or, you know, you can always use your follower as a better blockade like that, but it's too positional. And if you're not finding the way to get the position, then you're gonna lose by getting procced. I like how I'm always running back possibly running back towards where I might get hit. That was a troll second floor, by the way. in terms of monster types. Oof, that was close. I'm just killing just for just to close. Might as well. Might as well get the EXP, more or less. But potential drops too, but okay. Yeah, that was a closer attempt. I would say that was a pretty nice one. That was a pretty nice one. I mean, it's okay. Wasn't great, but I'm gonna just make a screenshot. Third try, at least I got to see what my potential was. I mean, if I had 5% more and then, power pylon, then it would have been my fault. Well, totally my fault. This was very close to being my fault, though. Because I should have played better. Yeah, hi, Ronan. So the problem was the... Yeah, I needed a few more minutes, but the issue was that in the beginning, at the bottom, so I wasn't expecting a 20% pylon. Not to mention it was a conduit that was actually very helpful on that one. But I shouldn't have the conduit there. I should have had the conduit like up ahead of me in that other nook. So in battlefields, right, there's like 3 to 4 spots roughly, right? And I think that's so-called the four corner. Yeah. So it was RNG, but I well, yeah. So in the RNG sense, to give myself more positive feedback, is that all I was doing at that time was not really the pylon check so much. It was more for playing the phasebeasts, that I wanted to gather. So I was actually trying to get herd stuff. But then I accidentally bumped into an early pylon spawn. Early in a relative sense that between the 16-17% of the 25%, which in my previous run, I had a 32% shield, right? So that was a late first pylon. And now this is an early pylon that it was reflected by the early approach to get the pylon that was actually good, right? That was actually ideal order in a sense. So in that scenario, it was just unfortunate. Yeah, exactly. So I should have been 5% ahead. If if I had it correct, it would have been 5% better. But the third pylon was channeling, so that was one problem. The other problem was that the second floor, while it was battlefield, it was just not an ideal monster type. Now, if it was medium spiders on the second floor battlefield though, then it would have been like pretty critical. Yeah, that's how we roll. Paragon XP don't help if you don't get the floor. Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, my Paragon, definitely from the Paragon standpoint, it's like I'm, definitely higher than some people who have done it. But I really like that circle ring. But that's because when we first started playing Necromancer, it was a minion build, and I love this ring for a minion build. Anyway, that was pretty good. I mean, we end up using this kind of restraint, which is the ideal kind at the end of the day, and that's why it has worked in all my push attempts that happen to, you know, make up for my missing damage, right? But it does cut into the this season's cooldown. So I did play pretty well. I definitely got procced and died once there when I shouldn't have. Um, but that was because I already sort of failed the conduit in a sense to get the extra 5% from the blue elite that should have been dead. Yeah. And then the sad part was that teleporter elite. Now, I mean, I don't mind that it was a teleport elite, that it may or may not have helped me with the conduit progress in that as well, but it was really distracting, like, so normally, right, it was really nice that I got 7% at the beginning of that first floor face piece, because you don't actually want to get into distracted elite affixes, right? So in a sense, it was losing me time on the density that I moved away from. Well, hopefully I managed to move away from that yellow elite uh, cultist, but the yellow elite cultist was a teleporter. So yeah, it sort of ate my time because I had to dodge, like, what was it, like four different sets of frost minimum to kill before I killed most of the density that I herded when I decided to dodge away from the teleporter. Well, the yellow elite, before I realized that it was a teleporter anyway. Now, in terms of the teleporter, let's say you're playing Wave of Light or Meteor and stuff, a teleport is great. It's just like, oh, an extra elite bonus. And so it was an extra elite bonus in that sense, but at that time though, it's wasting my time, my precious time to kill the face beast quicker, outside of my own damage missing. All right, fourth try. Let's hope the fourth try is gonna be better. Well, I don't think it's gonna get any better than that, except the third pylon. I think that was a pretty reasonable amount of RNG that showed that I can do it. Well, aside from other people already having done it, I think that was a good showcase. Fourth try. Okay. What is this? Axe executioners, more or less. Doom troopers ish. Demon raiders, I meant. Well, they're about the same. Yeah, this is not looking good. In the sense that it's not looking good because it's a Soul Lasher yellow and you don't want any distractions. So this is like a bust already, but I'm just gonna like try and see the progress. This yellow elite is painful and terrible. So you don't actually want an elite like right out the gate. Especially if you can kill a density. The density is worth it. So 3%. 3 or 4%. Yeah, that's not enough. Not to mention this floor isn't good. Um, this high up anyways. Blue shielding. No 3% pylon. It is blue fallen at the end, in the middle. Because it was Demon Trooper. Well, it was Demon Trooper, the Demon Raiders stuff, and Executioners. I didn't really see the blue fallen stuff until I saw the fallen masters here. So it is what it is. I think I'm just gonna like try to just kill one more set of density and then move on from this rift, just to get some EXP out of it, because it is EXP. You don't really want to waste a key. I mean, I am wasting energy, but I don't really want to waste a key. And you know, the other thing is this, right? So what this is doing, okay, so positively speaking, what this is telling you, what can you get out of this, right, is that if you're still wondering why you want to stay, is because, one, if you can get a good room like that, I just gained 6% while talking. I mean, I am behind time, but if you gain 6% while talking or while not concentrating, but you did play with density, you will realize that density makes sense, right? So while it's a waste of time, you actually learn like a little bit of it. You just have to find a way to understand that this is not the right monster type, obviously. But if you know that you can kill density and get your progress, spaghetti, then it's a curse. A curse is also okay. It's not the best. It's like low S. It's a low S tier. Wow, that fire chain though. I don't think I will see my first pylon anyway. So a curse is also okay. It's a low S or something like that. It's workable, but you don't want to play from behind. Well, who wants to play from behind? But what I'm saying is, it's an okay one. Yeah, it should have been. But there are times when I remember playing spaghetti, and you know, the central spaghetti spot is really cool. All right, I don't want to play from behind time, because conduit would just break even and it's not fun. But that was interesting though. It was interesting. Fourth try was floor 1, Halls of Agony, with executioners and Doom Raiders with some Fallen Masters. Floor 2, Spaghetti with Accursed is okay, but behind time already. Alright, so that was my notes. I gained a bit of EXP there, just like a little bit, you know, like a few bars. Spaghetti, only reason it was kept, yeah, I mean, Innis is one of the Innis set is one of the one of the sets that's like, uh you know, favorable in comparison to a lot of sets. So it's a tough ask to ignore Innis by a large margin in terms of the gameplay design. because Innes survived throughout like for a long time. I mean, in the beginning it was like a support set, right? And then it turned into like a mainstream streamlined set, and it still is a streamlined set. Not that it's streamlined to the point of God set anymore, but it was a streamlined set. Well, I mean, Battlefield is okay. I mean, the fluidity of a Battlefield is good, but Fields of Misery is better. It's just that for God DH though, um, Fields of Misery needs a little bit more care than Battlefield. So Fields is really good, but you have to play more carefully, and then you have to think of like how many pylon spawns you don't want to risk, you know. Whereas a Battlefield, there is a chance where, you know, unfortunate accident. Yeah, well, my friend had a really good fields for his 146 silver. Silver had a really good 146 for his fields. Um, I've had good fields. You just have to have the right order and whether you can tank 5 elite packs. But yes, it's better for, Meteor Wizard, better for Wave of Light, etc. But like fields work. It's just bad because God DH you tend to strafe too much, and when you strafe too much, you reveal too many spots. Now, of course, if you're the kind of player that happens to know how to manipulate to play one pylon only per floor in that strategy, in that realm of strategy, then it works in that way of a field. But normally, because of how the density is, you tend to kill more pylon spots. So that's why normally when I push, I tend to pull back to the spot that I cleared, or I pull back to the bridge, the entrance bridge, a lot, which is not something that a lot of people will do. Hello, how are you? Welcome. I'm just, taking a break in between and analyzing and chatting as well. And so I'm just taking my time through. Oh wow, hardcore. Yeah, that's intense. I mean, in my approach for softcore is that I try not to risk dying, even though obviously I've already like ripped the character, and so in hardcore mode, it's kind of like a justification where in softcore you've died once before during leveling, it's already over for hardcore, right? So it's kind of like a moot point to like discuss. But for me, personally speaking, I try to treat my softcore like opening a rift instance and trying not to die while playing. So in a sense where some of my clears, uh, I mean I could have taken more screenshots, but in my VODs, uh, I have 0 deaths before. I procced several times, 2 to 3 times in the rift attempt, but at the end in my VODs of my clears, more than half of them has a 0 death at Urshi. I played the Necro back in season 11, and I think another time sometime else, and also I only played the Necro um during the start when I played as a group to give the group the corpse explosion in the early beginning. But if you are playing a Necro, Necros are really strong. But it's a little risky depending on how you pull your density, and then you have to ignore low HP monsters as you move on the rift. So like you have to learn how to give up like as a necromancer in most of the sets, or in the two sets that people usually play, or the two to three builds that people play on the necro, you tend to need to learn how to give up fighting something. And so what I mean by that, in a better sense, I tend to use the word overstaying. You don't want to overstay, and it's same with this God DH actually. This Gears of Dreadlands set. So when I play this, right, I know that I lack damage, especially for yellow elite packs. So I don't want to overstay the elite pack, and that happens a lot to certain people where you overstay. And I've overstayed before. There was one. There was one. I think it was when I was starting my 143 attempts. I think I wasted my shield pylon for like 15 seconds of it because I was thinking to myself, Hulks, the Thorn Hulks, the disembodied Hulks, were also quite difficult to kill. But I had a shield pylon for the pylon elite, and I was like thinking to myself, isn't that the same if I have to like manually find more Hulks and try to kill this yellow elite? And so I kind of made the mistake to stay the 15 seconds, even though the 15 seconds wasn't the only issue. Which one would you recommend to play in the season? Yeah, if you don't know, I mean, if you're not used to speaking English, you know the name of the class and the set, I guess. Which one would you recommend? Um, what is it? The Tragul or the other one? Rathma. There's only two, really, right? It's Rathma or Tragul. Okay, you're Russian? Okay. Yeah, I think that Tragul or Rathma, like Rathma, I think more people play Rathma. Tragul is probably the other one. But yeah, I would say Rathma is the one that people mostly played because the rework made it really strong, for the most part. But Tragul is the one where it heals. They also reworked it to where it heals quite a fair amount. So, but you have to like manage that heal as you move on. So yeah, I would say Rathma, like Ronan suggested. Yeah, I speak a little fast, but I'm not as fast as other people. I also tend to try to slow down sometimes. So anyway, let's do fifth try. I think I set in town quite a bit, but it is good to like take a little break because God DH is not fun to play, especially when I don't use numlock. Fifth. Ooh, okay. Plague tunnels with, is it Ghostly Trio? Yeah, it's Ghostly Trio. Okay. Ghostly Trio is really painful. Okay, there's some bonus warping horrors, phasebeasts, that's good. It is a painful mob set though. And the reason why I haven't pulled is because I want to see what the percent is. And there is a very high chance that I get a bonus, like a super early bonus pylon. Alright, this sucks. It already turned so quickly. It turned so fast. Basically, this is not the right um, layout where there's not enough donuts. There used to be red weapons. Red weapons. Trying to think of the reference. Yeah, so what I want to do with this ghostly trio, however, really is like this density amount is pretty good, but unfortunate unfortunately, ghostly trio is too painful for one. Even though I may not seem to be taking too much damage because I do have a relatively high resistance compared to a lot of demon hunters. I don't have the damage, but I have the resistance for the most part. Not to say that I'm the tankiest DH out there or anything, but I tend to have a stronger setup than most people do. But you don't really want the ghostly trio in the sense of incoming damage. But if you have the damage output, ghostly trio is okay. So you can see that the ghostly trio is, you know, like pretty good. Red weapons. I mean, I. Oh, the frame. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the ethereals. It's the blue. Yes. So if you're talking about the blue stuff, well, the recipe page 11, the cube page 11. Yeah, this is not Revenant is okay, but not at this progress. Yeah, so we are playing the blue ones, the turquoise ones. This one is from season 24. Fifth try, plague tunnels, ghostly trio, bad layout. That's floor 1, floor 2 West March. I mean, the white one is the sanctified one. The white one is the white silver one is the sanctified one, which is season 27, right? So it's more so better that you refer in the season number more or less because I haven't played all seasons, I would say, but like it's better if you just use seasons. But yes, if you're just using English, for example, uh you know then using the colors help me understand from your perspective, but I don't necessarily think people will like think in the color um as a as an approach. It's only good in the sense of talking like, let's say, ancients, like, I use yellow border or golden border, the frame. But in terms of a theme, I think people will understand more of the season number. Yeah. So um let's try six try. Let's see how six try goes. Halls of Agony again. What is it this time? Scavengers again. Scavenger Dark Berserkers. and a blue to start. Well, blue to start is okay, but I can't kill blues. Not without Oculus Rings, obviously. So, scavengers are like okay, but the map is bad, so. Scavenger is okay when there's a lot of them, and if you have enough area damage, for example, it works. And that is why Scavengers is one of the... because they are low HP, right? So in LOD Hoda, for example, I've watched, people push LOD Hoda, and Scavengers is one of them where it actually helps to give you the Oculus Rings that you want. But they are pretty weak in terms of health, so it's good for in that other sense, but it's also bad because if you clear all of them already, then you don't get enough Oculus Rings at in the time frame that you actually want the Oculus Rings. It's too fast. They die too quickly. Now, when you think of dying when they die too quickly, however, it's good progress, right? So scavengers are like a good mix for your progress, but it's still not like the most optimal because there's just too many targets. And you need a lot. But Scavengers is really nice because they give you a certain amount of Oculus Rings for what you need to do. It's just not a good monster type to maintain. Okay, there's some medium spiders, but it's too okay. What is this? I can't even tell. Oh, Hellions? And too many yellow elites. This is too much. So this 6 try is too much. So what I mean by that is that there's too much to do to get to the next pylon. Because you don't actually want an overstacked front. And Festering Woods tend to do this a lot. So for example, this setup right here is like better for Meteor Wizard, for example. I mean, obviously you want more density for most of the thing, but this is better for like, Wave of Light, Meteor Wizard, stuff like that. So Festering Woods tend to be like worse and worse for many cases. Now, Festering Woods is still one of the top because it's, you can still get a 1 floor clear for Festering Woods. But it has to be like, the 4-corner layout or whatever. But with this amount of elites and all yellow elites like that, it's just not good enough. And then if I don't get my first pylon, which I didn't, then it doesn't help. And with this number of yellow elites also, I need it to be a conduit. Even shield can't. I don't have enough damage because I don't use Augils for one. And I'm not using the COE version right now. So that was the 6th try. Very unfortunate. Floor 1, Halls of Agony. Floor 2, Festering Woods. Hellions. Oh yeah, the Scavenger was floor 1. With too many yellow elite packs. There was like 3. The first three were yellow. Well, we fought the first 2, but the third one was also yellow up ahead. Yeah. So I have a feeling that I do have the potential to clear, I would say. But it's looking more and more like the COE version might be better. if I don't want to waste more runs, I think the COE version might be better for me. But it's doable. It's doable with Guardian. But I feel like it takes the same amount of RNG that I had in terms of my damage, because I am going to be relying on the pylons anyway, and this is how God DH plays. But I'm just giving like a summarized TLDR in a sense. Like that third try was actually really nice. Um, and like I just have to repeat that. If not, it has to be like my friend's 146 fields, which had like what was it, 50 to 80 face beasts. It was insane. Not only the pylon order was fantastic, it was like you had so many face beasts. Even though there were like a lot of elite packs that was like annoying, but you had so many amount of face beasts in that fields. It was just it gave you like 3 minute lead, you know. So that's one of the fields that I would want for my 149 150, preferably the 150 obviously. Um, and then the other one is the Festering Woods, where I got ice porcupines with the three best pylons. So like that third try earlier it was a good, like a good showcase of what I would need, like every time. And then all I need is a better second floor in that sense, and then I would have gotten much closer if it wasn't power. So because it was channeling, it was definitely not helpful, and it was a little too early with the channeling. It was like about 10% too early for the channeling. It would have been better for power at the right time. All right, let's try a few more tries with this one, and then I might try with the COE way and see if the COE way works for me as well. I mean, it works, but I tend to use my Oculus rings whenever I get them rather than the COE on cycle for the Oculus ring. So because I depend on Oculus ring so much as well, then uh, uh the faulty approach for COE version is that I tend to endanger my Oculus rings a few seconds earlier than the cycle. So I tend to fail playing COE as properly as I should be, because I tend to rely on Oculus rings. Even though it's not really relying on Oculus rings, I'm actually using Oculus rings correctly. It's just that using COE, you want your Oculus rings to be free of damage incoming as best you can, so that when you do get the cycle, you actually get to use the Oculus rings on cycle. But yeah, it's just the way that I play happens to actually cause me to die more often on the COE version, because I used the Oculus rings before the cycle. And then by the time the cycle arrives, then everything is on the Oculus ring. So I don't get to like make the same kind of use of an Oculus ring. And so a lot of times in the previous seasons, when I push with the COE version, even before Guardian existed, is that I actually, with dying, it punishes my Rift attempt more than other people would. Because other people would die like 5 times and they still come back. Like, they still make back the time because they know how to use the COE on cycle of with the Oculus Ring. I tend to die on or before cycle is because I endanger my Oculus Ring too much. But I tend to use a lot more Oculus Rings than most people do. Just saying that I tend to like target the outside region of my herd at a more periodic time to get my Oculus Rings to appear for my own benefit in my playstyle. That's what I mean when I use more Oculus rings. Because I tend to like find how and when I can get my Oculus rings more often. And I would even go backwards to use an Oculus ring when sometimes people won't go backwards. So that is what I mean when I use more Oculus rings than other people, is that I actually tend to like pull back and let them get to me even if the Oculus ring is backwards. And in pushing, backwards is not a problem. You know, you still play a certain amount of density when you go backwards. Now, in going backwards, a linear map, you don't really want to go backwards on a bad floor, right? A bad map. So you do want to go forward most of the time. But, a backwards Oculus ring is fine. Especially for Strafe Impale, for example, you want them to get closer to you at some point because you don't want to face tank something, even though the 6-piece bonus says that you gain, that buffed 120,000% on direct hits. But if you do get slapped as well, then you're risking the play. So a backwards movement to a backwards Oculus Ring is more helpful. Even though you sacrifice the damage, you reposition yourself, ready, and you give yourself some breathing room. That's what I mean by playing more Oculus Rings than other people, is that I give myself breathing room. Whereas, other people, they tend to play the Taurasha resets, for example. They only want to teleport, right? You don't have to only teleport. You want to move physically as well. And that's where force move, like, people who play force move should be using their force move if they enjoy force move. But you end up using more Taurasha resets of the teleport than the force move, then you're not using the advantage of force move. Alright, thank you, Ronin. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your analysis as well. Yep, yep. Take care. Yeah, take good care of her. Yep. Alright, I will continue. 7th try, here we go. Shock Tower. Moon Clans. Is it really Moon Clan? Yeah, it is. Moon Clan is painful. So is Shock Tower. Moon Clan is so painful. I don't even know if I can clear this. Moon Clan is very, very painful. Like, especially with the bad CDR. Well, the lower CDR that this season that we have to play. Moon Clan is gonna hurt. Look at that. That was outside the window because of the CDR. That's exactly what I meant when I said it. I mean, they do give a reasonable amount of progress. They're just super painful. So you end up losing time based on trying to survive it rather than killing them. But you see, my progress was 6% there, so it wasn't bad. But it's just something that you have to play a lot to get that amount, and you're losing by dying. Yeah, this is too painful. Not to mention the elite pack is here. Okay, I saw the 7% speed. And so this is another example of the early pylon, right? Between 0 to 12%, there is a chance where you get... Is this illusionist or something? I saw that like the blue health was really low. It must be illusionist. More or less. Is it illusionist or was I seeing things? No, it was health link. Okay. Any case, it's speed pylon 7%. So let's see what the next floor actually is, if I can get to the second floor. Okay, Ariat Crater. Accursed Ariat Crater. It's, you know, slightly easier to play, but I'm playing from behind, so it's not really good. It's Betrayed, so it's almost like Accursed, but it's not enough. Yeah. Playing from behind is not enough. So, 7th try. Floor 1. Shock Tower, Moon Clan. 6% progress for first density play. 7% speed pylon. Floor 2. What was it? Oh yeah, right. Ariat Crater. Ariat Crater, Betrayed, Mob Set. Okay. And I just jot those things down because, you know, it kind of gives you an idea, right? You know, I'm not the best at it by any means. I don't have every checklist, but I want to, like, you know, not just go in and out, even though I should be, but I need to know, like, which monster types and how I play them, right? I am going for density. It's not like I overstay my elite packs. Not very often anyway. But you need to find those specific rooms to play, and I'm practicing those. And that's what I'm using them for when I write things down or take my time with them. Of course, it is all about energy, though. You don't want to waste your energy. Alright, 8th try. Halls of Agony again. This is not the right kind of zombies. Scorpions and zombies. Takes a lot of scorpions, though. I think I might have to play the COE version. But I mean, again, I'm not getting the right stuff now. The first 3 tries were like the best showing. All these are turning really, really poorly. Like, it's down to fishing, right? Obviously. But like the first 3 tries were so good to like understand like what you have to do, that these tries are not showing anything positive. And so the fishing is even more positive. But when you do get the right stuff, you know, then it's like, oh look, happy days, right? So in a way, there's something to watch. But this is not looking either. I feel like for damage wise, I might have to play COE because I'm also lacking damage to kill these, even these. Because if I kill a little faster, I would have been a little bit better. But it takes a lot of... Like, these demon troopers are nice. Demon troopers are low health. and they give okay progress. Alright, this is almost done. I just want to see what floor 2 is. Do I get a... Nope, I didn't get a 7% one this time. So, like, this spot, for example, is like a pylon spawn point. Potentially. There might have been one over there. There might have been one over there. I'll just go and take a look, I guess, even though the gold bar already probably doesn't. Nope. Okay. So that was not actually a spawn point. I was thinking of the other one where there's a pillar. The layout that has a pillar right there would be a pylon spawn point. This one is further up, well, either like right there instead. But that was what I was. Anyway, I'm gonna kill this and leave. I just wanted a little bit out of this. All right, there we go. I didn't want to like play onto the second floor now, even though I wanted to check it just now. But it's too much behind time anyways. All right, so 8th try. Floor 1 halls of agony, voracious zombies and scorpions. Those basically those Stygian crawlers. I call them scorpions myself to keep it short. It's kind of like dolls, right? In Diablo 2, you can call them Stygian dolls, which is kind of funny because, well, whether it's Stygian, remembering correctly or not, doesn't matter. But it's kind of like saying the Blue Goblin, right? Like you don't really want to like say the full name. It's kind of sure you can say the full name, but it sounds kind of odd. It's like a little awkward to say the full name of the Blue Goblin every time. It's once in a while saying it is okay, but when you say the full name of the Blue Goblin like every time, it's a little ridiculous. So when when I say scorpions for those Stygian crawlers, like really though, will I want to say Stygian crawlers like every time I see them? No, I just say it's scorpions. Ninth try, here we go. I think I'm gonna try like 10 tries with this, and then I'll swap to COE and see how it feels. Halls again. What is it this time? Oh, is this comedy comp? Yeah, it's comedy comp. Okay. So comedy comp is super bad. It's super painful. I don't even know what I want to do. Like, I guess if I really want to play, I can play this room, but this room has an elite there, and this is too much work. That's why I moved on, because there was an elite here. And it's electrified. Ugh. Fire chain and electrified. Like, it's super painful. Yeah. Nope. Comedy comp is not it. It's so painful. Like, random, ridiculous pain. So, ninth try. Floor 1, Halls of Agony, comedy comp. Nope. All right, let's try without going to Guardians. Without going to COE way. Do I even have the COE way saved again? I might have, but I might have to change one or two things. I don't know if I adjusted my COE way properly. I'll have to find out later. Alright, 10th try with Guardians. Act 1 Crypt. Oh, okay. Ice Porcupine is something that I like. We'll see if this works out. I mean, not enough. This is not enough, but I want to see the progress of it. Because it works. Ice Porcupine works. It's painful though. Don't know what was hitting me. It works, but it takes a lot to see that it works though. So Ice Porcupine is good, but you need a lot of Ice Porcupines. And not just these, whatever these are, right? Need a lot of Ice Porcupine. This is not enough. Okay, I accidentally see a blue, so that's not something I want to do. I mean, it's a bonus, but I don't think I want it. See? The progress bar? So it's sometimes it's not the map, it's the choice of the monster type and how you how they are. Now, positionally speaking, the maps ruin it because, you know, like this spot doesn't give you enough, right? Okay, that was painful and unnecessary. So like, this is the problem. Like, where are the Ice Porcupines, right? So that's where the map comes in. I might as well just use this Oculus Ring. Just now I got hit by that from the Oculus Ring. Okay, that's not a good blue. Alright, so it ended very quickly. Shock Tower next. Demon Raiders are okay. They're like A tier, I think, for sure. I think they're A plus for the health they are. Okay, that Oculus Ring spawned at a really bad spot. Yep. I knew it. I knew it as soon as I wanted to play it. Okay. This is bad because I don't have my vengeance. And the Oculus Rings keep spawning at that spot because the Demon Troopers or like whatever it is are like super close to the... So this is like Blue Fallen mix, right? Demon Raiders are basically Blue Fallen like mob set, but you don't see the Fallen Masters too much, which isn't bad. You know, the Fallen Masters are like, you know, they're super rare, right? So you don't really want to see the Fallen Masters. You want to see the Demon Raiders, which is what the Demon Raiders did, right? Okay, missile dampening. What kind of missile dampening is this? Okay, it's... Oh, it's a frost. I wasn't paying attention to the frost. So, the best missile dampening, by the way, is not to have any other affixes such as frosts. The one thing you don't want is obviously electrified. But a missile dampening isn't too bad. It's just crappy right now. Because of the frost. So basically, I can't concentrate to kill it because of the frost. So I have to go kill this. Like, I'm already invested. Like, I'm already committed. And it's one of the yellow elites that you can actually kill, like, at a reasonable amount of time, depending on the other affixes. Electrified is not one of them, but it's not electrified, so... And I mean, my other clear, though, has had used a missile dampening before to gain progress. 32% and no pylon, or maybe there was and I didn't see it. So that could be a problem. I mean, I already lost time, right? This other layout, this layout version is not good for me because the pylon is like way ahead. I think the pylon spawn point is like way ahead. So it's... Alright, electrified. Alright, can I try to get a first pylon, please? I just want to know what my first pylon is. Is there a... Okay, I guess it became a short floor. No pylon. Okay, fire shaman. Never mind. I mean, that could still be Lakuni, but it's too late. Alright, so that was the 10th try. Okay, so that was the 10th try. That was promising in the beginning, but it ended up being too little, too small amount of ice porcupines. So floor 1, Act 1 crypt, ice porcupines, decent, 8% progress, break even, and then floor 2 was like shock tower, demon raider blue or whatever. Well, floor 4 was the... What was it? Act 1 Cathedral, Fire Shaman spotted. Floor 3 was short double bridge pandemonium. So it kind of ate the pylon spawn potentially, or it could have been the other spot of the shock tower. No pylon spawn point for the floor 3. Potentially missed pylon on the shock tower. All right. So those are my notes for the stuff that I usually, you know, think about when I'm making my push attempts. Like, all these are probably a given, but I'm just saying out the given stuff or jotting down what's given, right? Okay, so do I have my traditional side that I can kinda do. Okay, so I just have to swap back my ring. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
I require a new skill.
So I'll just swap back the ring, and then I think I'm set. I'm gonna just try a few times of the for this COE way. I'm under 30 mil cold though, like way under. Just double checking my gear. The gear is okay. Like my COE way is pretty much the same. Resistance fell like a little bit because of this one. Even though I think I like if I feel like my resistance is an issue, then I'll. Oh, speaking of that, I need to like adjust. Yeah. All right. If I need the resistance issue, I have my all resist version instead of this version because this one, unfortunately, it rolled EXP or the pickup radius, like one of the two. The pickup radius is okay, um, but uh, I mean, when we want to talk about pickup radius though, is that you don't really want more than 11, especially when you play a big conduit play, for example, and it affects your 99% pylon check. So you don't really want like pickup radius in that sense. So anyway, the secondary doesn't have a resist, and potentially speaking, I want lightning resist or physical resist, obviously. So this one is not ideal. I'm just using it because it's red, right? Like just to look red. I mean, honest, right? Just being honest. But you know, I should be using this one. So I'll try a few times with that one, and then if not, I'll go that. Well, I will find out shortly here anyway. Yeah, I went even lower because I had to get a bit of Paragon to this health pool. Which I mean, I could try playing like at 725 instead, but or even 750, but it just takes too long to. Well, I guess I can try to adjust instead, but is it 750? Yeah, 750 is close enough. Even though, what I really want is exactly 750 though. So is this because I have to min max my damage, right? So like, all right. So this is the min max method, but I'm still below 28, so this is gonna feel really odd, but okay. Um, okay. I'm not ready for. I'm not warmed up in the COE way, but okay. All right. Um, yeah, that's what I mean by not warmed up because I wasn't paying attention to the charge. The other thing is that all extremes can get really rough to play. So aura extremes are nice, but they're also not nice. Okay, I have to give that up. Well, As soon as I say that though, this is really bad. Like, I appreciate the or extreme thing, but this is just really, really bad. I mean,
I'm still waiting.
7%.
Not ready yet.
Wow, that was
Need more time.
frosts.
I'm still waiting.
Yikes. Yeah, my resistances are just
Not ready yet.
there's just too much.
Need more time.
It's just too much. Like, I need help. Is there any help that I can get?
Not ready yet. Need more time. Sweet revenge. I'm still
Can I get like a shield, maybe?
not ready yet. I'm injured. Need more time.
There's just too much to do, man.
I grow weak.
Gosh.
I'm still
I
waiting.
should have just revived on the checkpoint, honestly.
Not ready yet.
Yeah, this is too painful. Like, I appreciate the Oryx, but if it's not gonna give me a shield anytime soon, I'm just, like, falling behind.
Feel my wrath. Not ready yet.
Like, I am falling behind, I'm just saying. Like, I can't make use of this Oryx, because this Oryx is too much elites. Like, too much.
Not ready yet.
And I don't need an Oryx to have Val Swarms if I want Val Swarms, right?
I'm still waiting. Need more time.
Alright, 25.
Not ready yet.
Alright, there's so many elites, man.
I'm still waiting.
There's just so many elites. I really wish there was
Not ready yet.
the pylons, but... Oh no. It's the Hellion.
Need more time.
Like there's so many elites. Like I just needed some help, but
I'm still waiting.
yeah, I didn't get any help. This is shitty. Oh man.
Not ready yet.
Okay. All right. Let's
I'm still waiting.
30% shield. I need to find all the stuff here.
Need more time.
I don't even think this is worth it anymore. Yeah.
I'm still
I lost all my density.
not ready yet. Need more time.
I don't even know. Like, I lost all my density here.
Still waiting. Need more time.
Like, I love that they gave me an aura extreme, but this is not the dream. There's just too many elites just now.
Not ready
The
yet.
shield is good bonus, but I think I think the conduit would have been better
Need more time.
because this is just like barely, I would say.
Not ready yet. I'm still waiting.
Well, there goes the progress.
Not ready yet.
Oh, gotch.
Need more time.
60%. It's so painful.
I'm still waiting. Need more time.
Thank you, Oculus Ring.
Not ready yet. I'm still waiting. Need more time. I'm still waiting.
Okay. Do I get some help? No?
Not ready yet.
Man, this aura extreme is very mean. Very, very mean. 30% shield, but I have to work hard for my next one. I mean, it's like, I get it that 149 is tough, and I should be working for it, but like, this is
Not ready yet.
a little too much.
Need more time. I'm still waiting.
Do I have a conduit? No? Okay. Well, whatever it is, it has to be conduit. But I'm gonna hope that it's not eaten yet. At 75. Well, I have to try to play to 75. It's stalling really hard, by the way.
I'm still waiting.
Okay.
Need more time.
Really? Power.
Not ready yet. I'm still waiting.
Uh, I really wish it wasn't power,
I need more time.
honestly.
I'm still need more time. Not ready yet. I grow weak.
Had to use the potion there. Yeah, conduit was the thing I needed there. This power did nothing.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, this is too painful. I needed conduit there. Conduit was the only thing. Sad.
Need more time.
It was cool, but
I grow weak. Not ready yet. I'm still waiting.
okay. Yeah, conduit was the only thing. It popped up power. I mean, I still wouldn't have done the Rift Guardian, but it would have been nicer if it was conduit.
I'm still waiting. Not ready yet.
Okay, so COE is fine. It's just
Need more time.
so I need to use COE way.
Need more time.
I think I played the shield okay. It could have been a little better, but not by very much. Because I think where the shield spawned just now, playing on the same floor as the thing, it was just not,
I'm still waiting.
like, there was just not enough elites. There was a lot of density though. So I had to go back, and I mean,
Not ready
I
yet.
did have a decent amount of pulls. Um, like, out of the 7 elites I had like 3 or 4 in that spot where I fought. Um, I mean, I got lucky that they were not too split off.
Not ready yet.
Ah, I just wanted to see if I can get some help. Oh, yeah, Stonesinger would have been fine compared to like. So my Rift Guardians on the closer attempts are better. I mean, Stonesinger isn't great. It's just what I was trying to get at is that it's still compared to like the incoming damage. Um, Stonesinger is still okay. It's just that when the machines are like too many machines, though, it does become a problem. Okay, this is not good spot for the pink. Yeah. Yep, this is when I need to move, I think. Ah, come on, dude. Are you really not gonna teleport a little closer? And I wasted a cycle, obviously. Ah. I just didn't want to waste like all my shots on the machines, you know, so I wanted him to move, but he didn't move, and now he decides to charge me by moving. And then I obviously wasted another cycle because that's what happens to me when I rip on COE. I tend to waste cycles. Classic. Yeah, Stonesinger's not best, but it's still like in terms of needing to dodge. Well, I did die on that charge, but like needing to dodge stuff though, Stonesinger isn't bad. Yeah, I keep saying that and then I keep falling for it. But compared to like my arch nemesis though, it's it's not worse. The biggest issue is the Oculus rings are hard to obtain. Yep, I keep falling for it too. I keep falling for it. And obviously the cycle. Uh, and I also fall for it because I'm just so like sad about the shield about the power here.
Your skill has grown.
I feel more powerful.
19. All right, 11th try was Oryx, Valswarm, Graveyard, uh, and then floor 2, Shield Pylon, 30%. Went back for the 3 out of 7 elites. Floor 3 was um wait, no. Uh Floor 2 was the Shrouded Moor. Floor 3 was the Desert Hilltop with Power Pylon at like what was it, 76%? Whatever. It's terrible. I needed an easier floor 1. It would have been uh a lot better if it was easier. It just was too difficult. If it had been a little easier with a lesser amount of elite packs. it would have been a little smoother. I was breaking even for quite some time before I struggled. Um, I didn't have enough monsters for it, and I think I need to go to the bathroom right now because I've been sitting for a while. So I'm gonna um, go to the bathroom, take a little break. Let's see. I'm gonna first of all, 11 tries so far. Uh, third try and 11th. Third try, okay-ish. Failed. Uh, 11th try. Oryx COE version. Okay, failed. Okay. Then I need to move it a little. And then I need to be right back. Let's see. 747 to 752. All right. Let's see. More damage. Can't really have more. Now, the sad part is I have a Fortress version, but I'm not in the Paragons to play Fortress version. Although COE Way has a chance for Fortress, it's just the playstyle is completely different from the way that I pull, and yeah, so it's not easy, but it is a different way. But then I haven't prepared a different cube recipe page 11 in order to make use of the Fortress version. I might have to um, spend some time in RNG for setting that version up, but that playstyle though is a little bit more timid up to a certain extent. So it's just not it's just a different playstyle, and it's not easy to pull off either because I tend to force uh, the density. So I prefer that way, and this is the better way anyway. The other way works. Some people play it and they pushed a lot throughout, but um, I'm just not for a density person. The only thing bad about density, obviously, is that I take a lot more risk, which I do. Um, but right,
Are you strong enough to survive the
Red Fallen with double blue start. Red Fallen is not like, I mean, when you get a lot of the tall overseers, it's fine, but I don't know about it being good for a 149. I know that it has worked for me in like 139, 140 ish, but it's not good enough for a 149. I don't think. It's just not good. It's just not giving me enough, like immediately. Yeah. Like I need the immediate. It's just like a delayed progress. delayed progress. Red Fallen is delayed progress.
I'm still waiting.
Yep. So Red Fallen doesn't
Not
work.
ready yet.
Alright. Thank you very much. 12th try. Floor 1. Desert Hilltop. Red Fallen. Delayed 4% progress bar. Yeah, I'm just conserving energy. So if I know that I'm like gonna be 2 minutes behind, it's not it. I don't want the in and out though. And Desert Hilltop is a playable map, so it's not that either. It's not bad either. So, um, 13th try. I'm gonna just try like maybe like 20 tries today. In the way that I play. And so I'm expecting 149 to be, you know, as difficult as it was for my 147, if not more. But the third and the 10th try were really good. Um, showing, and even just now wasn't bad. Well, it was 11th actually. Uh, yeah, I typed wrong there. It's 11th. I meant 11th try. I did. Oh, okay. I spoke wrong on the 10th. It's 11th. I did type it correctly. Okay, never mind. I corrected myself for no reason. I just thought I typed 10th on the screen because I don't really want to type the wrong one because that was pretty good. 11th try there. It obviously was 19 minutes, but the the attempt was good in itself. It could have been better with the conduit instead of power. All I needed was, if only, was conduit instead. Yeah, so right. 13th try. Here we go. Okay, Hell Rift start is not a problem. Just need to see what the next floor is. Just testing with this density.
I'm still waiting.
What my general rule of thumb is to use the first density when you can get it, even though this is not the density you want.
Not ready yet.
But I usually try to use my first density though, as a way to like get yourself started as well. Because if you don't, then you get too many elites later anyway, and then you get nothing. So you want
I'm still waiting.
the density when you can get it. Okay, Desolate Sands. Okay, it's Blazing Ghouls. I've had Blazing Ghouls before. They're easy to kill.
I'm still waiting.
So it's one of those combinations that are like easy to kill, and that's about it.
Not ready yet.
Like there's not much more advantage than that.
We need more time.
Yeah, this is not good. It's not looking good. I mean, as far as not getting distracted goes, this is okay, but it's not looking good.
Not ready yet.
It's a little relaxing though. And then as soon as I say that, there's a ghost.
We need more time.
Those raids, I mean, there are grim raids in here, and raids are
My training
the
has
part
paid
that's
off.
most painful. But
I'm still
the
waiting.
relaxing part is that I can actually kill stuff and gain like relative progress. But again, this is not enough progress, right? So Blazing Ghouls are like okay as a mix for especially Oculus Rings wise. less incoming damage, but you're not gonna get the progress you need.
I'm still waiting.
So like, this floor is kind of weird. It's like the opposite of the Ore Extreme earlier. If the Ore Extreme was like this, well, not Blazing Ghouls, but if it was like this, tame, I would have gained more progressive progress. Kind of weird to say it like that, but yeah, if it was a little tamer, I would have had a better fluid control of my Ore Extreme. It was just too many elites.
I need healing.
Way too many elites. I mean, COE version can kill the elites. I just don't have the damage to, like, make use of. Okay, speed. Alright, it's not it. 16% speed. Halls anyways. So 13th try. Floor 1 Hell Rift. Floor 2 Desolate Sands. Blazing Ghouls. Can't type today. K floor and then 16% with 16% speed pylon. 3 is the Cathedral. Halls of Agony, sorry.
I need to go back.
Just get a little bit of the EXP, I guess. Ugh. This is one of the worst ones. Oh, it's the Cooties? Okay, I'll try. I'll give it a try. So, I've had this map back in season 22, where I got my 136 with Val Swarms before. So I went for density at the end instead of elite packs back in season 22. So this floor is bad to start, but the monster type does help make back the time for it, but it's not a good floor to start. Well, it's not a good floor to like try to break even either when it pops up later. Man, this damage coming though.
I grow weak. I need more time. I'm still waiting. Not
This
ready yet.
incoming damage is really, really painful. Because of the Fire Shaman, and then my Oculus rings are too close to them.
Not ready yet.
how the Oculus Ring, like, it's like, just stay here, you're fine. But I moved.
Need more time. I'm still waiting.
Okay, now the yellow meats, it's not good.
Not ready yet.
Okay, play here, right? Unless that stupid thing followed me. Wait, is that
I'm still waiting.
teleporter? That's what I thought. It felt like, I was like, how did they get so close that quickly? Must be teleporter, right? And then it was. So this is the part where it hurts. So I gotta move.
Not ready yet.
Oh, come on. Well, it's a dead end, but the teleporter is really annoying.
Need more time. I'm still waiting.
I had to move. Luckily. Shouldn't say anything.
Not ready yet.
Okay, fields.
Need more time.
Okay, the problem is I have 25, but it's not good 25 because they didn't give me the spawn.
I'm still waiting.
So I'm scared now.
Not ready yet.
Looks like this is gonna be a tough rift. It was good for a little while,
Still waiting.
and then it turned very quickly. I wish I had more area damage though. Like, I don't know if I can get away with the other ring instead, honestly. I'm gonna lose a lot of damage,
Not ready yet.
but this is feeling like area damage issue now. I really hope that I
Time.
don't get more delayed, please. This attempt could be really good, but it has to pop up the right way.
I'm still waiting.
Come on, man. Like, give me a little break. Is it gonna be 32? Again? That'll be stupid.
I'm still waiting.
Okay. Is it 32? Okay, it is. What are the odds? What are the odds that it's always 32?
Not ready yet.
It's not 25, it's 32. Really? It's kind of like the 75 and it's 86, right? The problem now is that I don't have Oculus rings as much as I want. Again, this is the big problem here. Like, suddenly, I just don't have anything. Okay, gold. Okay,
I'm still waiting.
and then where's everything now? Like, this shield got useless.
Not ready yet.
I mean, I should be thankful, but it's like useless.
I'm still waiting.
I mean, I did, you know, not hold back, but I like,
Not ready yet at all.
can't just waste more time. Okay.
Need more time. I'm still waiting.
I could have held it. Yes, I just.
Not ready yet.
There was not enough elites, like, you know, for me to like keep dragging.
Need more time.
So the 32 was bad because like I was falling behind. I didn't want to fall more behind.
I'm still waiting.
And then now the problem is that I should have been more greedy, and then I didn't. So
Not ready yet.
disappointing, because there's so much density that a conduit would do better. Like, I didn't need the shield. I would prefer a conduit there.
I'm still waiting.
So if I play greedy, I would be at 60, 70%.
Not ready yet.
I really wish that it just gave me the
I'm still waiting.
like the shield like as soon as 25% was when I entered the floor. It would have been better, honestly. I like Anarchs and all, but it just wasn't presenting itself. Disappointing.
Need more time.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
I am returning to town.
That was just disappointing. 14th try was okay. Floor 2 fields. Missouri. Not 25% pylon, but the 32% pylon spawn. Shield. I did not play greedy enough, fortunately. But in a way, it wasn't. It was conduit would have been better. So that was a bit of my fault, but it's just I I was falling behind already. I just didn't want to fall more behind. And like Anarchs though, I had to like have already the density ready for me. I cannot keep wasting time. So in a way, I could have done it, but there was only like two. There was only like 2 to 3 elites uh near the shield. It's just not enough. Right, 15th. Okay, there's a hilltop. Ugh.
I'm still waiting.
If it was oppressors, it would be better. This is like bad. I mean, I guess I can just watch whether the Hell Witches give me enough. Because it's the Hell Witches that's okay. Even though we don't like Hell Witches to get the progress bar. Okay, Frost is not helpful
I'm still waiting.
in this situation. Because I'm wasting more time dodging. See, 3%. So the Hell Witches are fine.
That was just a mistake. Not ready yet.
This is the pain that you get, right? So Hell Witches are fine. So
I'm still waiting.
not enough Hell Witches and the pain. Wow, it's so painful. Yeah, I'm dead. Like, I don't have my vengeance.
Not ready yet.
stuff.
Not ready yet.
I should just try to cool down ring. Or even the area ring.
I'm still waiting.
I mean, if I can get enough density, I still have enough damage from COE that's forcing COE. I mean, I am forcing COE anyway. This is so tough to play, man.
Not ready yet.
I can play here.
I'm still waiting. Need more time.
Yeah, this is another one where area damage will help because they do get really like compact, and it's really nice if you have area damage for this. Without area damage bonus,
I'm still waiting.
you just lack so much power.
Need more time.
So like the legionnaires or the yellow baton guys, they're too early. 13% power pylon.
I'm still
Big
waiting.
spiders. Big spider is too much it's too DIY. Alright, so 15th try. Try floor 1, Desert Hilltop. Hell Witches plus Legionnaire. 5% start. It's okay. And then is it 13% power pylon? Too early or to plague tunnels. I think there's like 2 blue elites already. So what was the offset? Oh yeah, big spiders.
Not ready yet.
Big spiders with 2 boots. 1.5 minute behind already. Alright, so that was 15th try. I know, like, all this... Okay. I want to test. I know, my damage keeps going, but I want to test. I want to test that area. Okay, battlefield.
Need more time.
Nice porcupines. Okay.
Not ready yet. Need more time. I'm still waiting.
That was just a taste.
not as bad as channeling, but it's like terrible.
I'm still waiting.
Thought that guy was gonna charge, but the Marissa saved me, and then I missed doing damage.
Need more time.
Okay.
Not ready yet.
Really? Meet right here. Like,
I'm still
can you
waiting.
not?
Not ready yet.
This ring, at least this is like slightly playable. Ring.
I'm still waiting.
Okay. So, gotta move away from this spot.
Need more time. I'm still waiting.
Nasty. It's over. I mean,
Not ready yet.
it's too much.
Sweet revenge.
Yikes. Don't get charged. That was close. I was trying to use this Oculus ring and I nearly...
Need more time.
This spot is okay.
I'm still waiting.
Area damage is alright. I mean, I am depending on COE cycles. Like,
Need more time.
I
Not ready yet.
don't think this... I mean, this room is reasonable to play, but I am behind, so... Just looks bad.
Need more time.
This room is not bad. This room is usually, on average, like 60% being good. So the only thing that can save me is
Need more
a
time.
greedy or shield play. Okay, I have to remind myself. Or a conduit. Just, and the conduit is to break
Not
even.
ready yet. I'm still waiting.
This is where the damage is lacking, right? Yeah. Channeling. 53% channeling. Sixteenth try for one battlefields. Is it like, I forgot a percent. Speed first pylon, and then floor 2 medium spiders offset, a 53% channeling. Still sad. That would have been okay with a conduit. I mean, I may not get a very good conduit, but it would have broken even. Ugh, man, it's so sad. This is sad. Trios. That was. Yeah, it's. Try a few more tries.
I think 2 more tries. I said 20, but I think 2 more is enough. I did get to 17 though with some paragons, I guess. So it's not bad. The area version isn't bad either, with COE anyway. Right. What's going on?
Unleash your power, champion.
Not ready yet.
Scavenger. Ice Forest Scavenger.
I'm still waiting. We need more time. Not ready yet. I'm still waiting. We need more time.
It's already not dense enough.
I'm still waiting.
As usual. That's the problem with the ice
Not
forests.
ready yet. We need more time.
Because you just keep roaming around and you don't get anything. You kill pylon spawn points.
I'm still waiting. I'm injured.
Yep, I went
Not ready yet.
to get hit by the door. I know.
We need more time.
So the area damage is nice because they're compact, but I am missing a lot of damage. And then the Oculus rings are like right up next to the gold ore.
Feel my wrath. We need more time. I'm still waiting.
Okay, that density was
Not ready yet.
alright. Plants. Painful. West March 4-2.
We need more time. Not ready yet.
Yeah, I think this is over. Oh man. This is gonna be painful. Whatever this
We need
is.
more time.
Yeah, it's frozen. So I can't stay inside here to kill them. This is gonna hurt
Not ready yet.
very soon.
I'm still waiting. Not ready yet.
pylon either.
Not ready yet.
This is nicer density for the area damage.
Need more time. Your fear betrays you. I'm still waiting. I need healing.
But I'm forcing my Oculus rings.
Not ready yet. Need more time. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, this is when I like damage, right?
Not ready yet.
It's like not enough. That's power, 27% power.
Need more time.
It's too much for the power. Yeah, whatever. Might die. Do not. Okay. 27% power. 17th try. Ice forest. Scavenger. Or 3 shock tower. 27% power. I don't know. 2 West March. Was it clan? Yep. Alright, one more try. One more last try for the day. Even though it is really not good anymore. Drained energy from the style that I do, but it is what it is. You know, like just to see like what's there. Could try one more thing. I mean, I could have done that earlier. Could have done that earlier for that other try. What was it? In the Oryx stream, maybe it would have been like possible, I guess, but otherwise, it's just not enough.
Unleash your
Considering
power.
woods really aided.
I'm still waiting.
This is very it's betrayed.
Not ready yet.
This is a very horrible situation.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, it's a horrible situation.
Need more time.
This would be like marvelous for like, you know, those 0% conduits or shields, stuff like that, but this is like disaster.
I'm still waiting.
teleporter somewhere in this. Wow, it's a lot of reflect.
Leave, you filth. I'm still waiting.
Honestly, I don't even know what I want to do with this, but
Not ready yet. We need more time. Feel my wrath.
I just like play like no elites.
Not ready yet.
It's impossible.
I'm still
It's
waiting.
impossible to play no elites. This is like elites galore. This is like worse than that more extreme.
Your fear betrays you. I'm still waiting.
It's worse than that more extreme. Now, you know, if only I get more progress, right? Like, if I ever get like a sweet pylon, this is like, I'll climb ahead. But like, in this kind of position,
Need more time.
there's just too many.
Not ready yet.
And obviously I'm way behind time, right? But you know, like
I'm still waiting.
in the situation where I can get the stronger pylon, it's over.
Not ready yet.
Like it's good, but
Need more time.
Survive that.
I don't think I can get my pylon at 12 with like 2 minutes behind.
Not ready
Yeah.
yet.
Oh man, I really want that pylon. I could play every elite there, and conduit, like conduit would make this a do-over. Like I would get like up to like 50% if I play it correctly. But
I'm still waiting.
it's too much.
Not
And
ready
then a
yet.
graveyard too. Oh, it's Bogans.
Then return to town.
I think that's it. Floor 1, Festering Woods, betrayed with 5 elites. Okay, I feel betrayed on that one. Alright guys, I gained some paragons. What was it? 2542 to 2556. So I gained 18 keys used. Gained from 2542 to 2556. So that's 14 paragons. 18 keys, 14 paragons. It's okay. I mean, like in the keys, it's okay. In the amount of time, no. Right? Like time wise, it's bad. Number of keys used, it's okay. Like on average, it's a good amount of like paragons for the key count, but it's just bad for time. Like clearly, you want paragons like efficiently with time. But I made good use of the time, just like looking at my attempts, and I think it is basically the COE time.
You must choose my skill.
So yeah, well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys, you know, had an opportunity to like take some notes. Not for my stress-inducing method of pushing um, GRs, but uh, in terms of notes on the progression. And there were some better ones out there in my attempts, namely the third try, the 11th try. I think those were like the two better ones. I think my 11th try was possible. Like if I played it better, it was like close to possible. But the third pylon channeling was just terrible. Um, in that situation, so it didn't work out. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna take a break from pushing. My stress-inducing one. It's not stressful like mentally. It's stressful like on the hand, right? That's why people fish as well. It's not just the chance of the game design, but it's also ergonomically helpful, right? To not drain the energy that you would want when you get the good rift, right? So like I spent so much energy on 18 tries where what if the next one was open greatly and then I'm just drained, right? So the fishing part uh really comes down to uh not getting drained, and that's where that fishing in and out method works better. But following the game design though, is that the RNG is, every 10 keys you might get an opportunity, and that's where it comes down to, right? If not more. So, uh, like my third try was pretty good. My first three tries were okay. Like they were all reasonable, and then it turned, right? And then it took, another 8 keys before I saw a good one, which 8 is like very small number in terms of skipping or not, right? So it's about 10 keys on average to get a good rift. And now that it's turning, it's definitely draining. And so I have to end it here.